Uh, yeah.
No, you can't. You heard me from downstairs, you jerk.
I'm not lying. I heard you. You said it was
Uh,
on the
yeah.
computer.
All right. So this link works. I'm gonna send it out to the listserv. So just go on mute. Yo, Juan, go help Jenny. See what's up with her drink. Thanks. What's up, baby Kaya? Hey, Kaya. I can't hear you, Jenny. No, you know your mic be bugging. You donezo.
Sean, what percentage is your computer on?
20.
Oh, damn.
Yours on 20.
You can't take the host's charger.
Nah. I'm about to get to 30 and then give this to Jenny because Jenny's at 25.
Oh, okay.
We just got up to 26. Oh, Camilo. Hey.
All right, there we go.
Yay!
Wepa. Oh.
Success. All right, we'll give it like another 2 minutes and then we'll get started. I'll skip the intro because I said it like 5 times already.
Oh, we put this in full screen.
I'm getting all these confirmations of payment to Zoom. I'm like, that don't help me right now. All right, we got a couple more people calling in.
Should I put it higher? Can you see good? Like that?
Yeah, it looks good to me. All right, so as people are signing in, I'll just get going, just because we've lost a lot of time now. So sorry for the inconvenience. I don't know what was going on with that other software, but we just brought it back to good old Google, because you know Google runs the world. We were trying to avoid it, but we're back on here. But you know, again, my name is Sean Garcia. This is the webinar for the Phoenix Reset 21-day nutritional cleanse. I was just going in quickly about who Revolutionary Fitness was, but you can, you know, I don't want to, you know, go over that again and waste more time. So you can just definitely check out our website, revolutionaryfitness.org. But one of the main things that Revolutionary Fitness is about, one of our pillars, is promoting plant-strong nutrition. And so a lot of people think that we're promoting folks to be vegetarians or vegans, but that's not really what it's about. What we're trying to do in the work that we do through these cleanses is promote people to eat more whole foods, more plants, more vegetables, more fruits, more nuts, all that good stuff, in replacement of what our society is kind of being pushed is all this processed food, all this overly cooked food, all this high in sugar food, all this overconsumption of meat. This is kind of what is being pushed in our neighborhoods, specifically underdeveloped neighborhoods throughout the country and the world. But definitely, you know, here in New York City, we see fast food restaurants and fried chicken spots and, you know, liquor stores and bodegas that don't have anything but, you know, potato chips and ginger ale and all that stuff. So very much so, there's attack on our communities, and we are, in our attempt to battle that attack, one of our means of doing that is through promoting plant-strong nutrition. So not only, you know, telling people about eating more vegetables and fruits, but educating folks on how they could bring it into their lifestyles, how they can start incorporating a healthier kind of dish into their cultural norms, because that's very important. You know, it's easy to say go drink a smoothie, go eat a salad, but a lot of us have some cultural you know, needs, you know, when it comes to food, especially because food is very much seen as something that's healing and bringing a family together and and we take a lot of cultural pride in our foods and all these things. So we have to make sure that is relevant to that as well. So that's what a lot of our work is. So we do these cleanses so that we can initiate that education and hopefully get people eating better and sharing that message to their friends and family. So for the past couple of years, Revolutionary Fitness has been doing green smoothie cleanses, and we have done them, as short as 3 days, as long as I think 14 days was the longest one we did as a group. And the green smoothie cleanses are great. We love them. We're going to continue to do them, and then in fact, in this Phoenix Reset, a portion of it is dedicated to the green smoothie cleanse component. But we wanted to take it a step beyond that and really start getting people to understand their relationship to food and start creating some new habits. So we created the Phoenix Reset, and the Phoenix Reset, again, is a 21-day cleanse. It has 3 phases, which I'm about to go into, and each phase kind of builds upon one another. But really, by the end of the cleanse, you should feel that your relationship to food has changed. You definitely should have expanded your diet and the things that you're eating and the kind of foods that you're buying. You'll be able to know what more foods are and all that good stuff throughout the cleanse, and definitely from the support system that's provided. So we have a couple more people joining in. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties. Hopefully everyone can get back on here. If not, we'll have it, of course, available for rebroadcast. So really quick, I just want to go around for the folks who are on here. People can just introduce themselves, where they're from, and why they're interested in participating in the cleanse. So let's start with Camilo and the group that's over at the RefFit studio.
Hey, I'm Camilo. What else you want to know?
Where you from and why you're interested in doing the cleanse?
I'm from East Harlem, and I want to improve my health more, and so that's why I'm interested.
Nice. Omar, you got a skirt on? What's that?
Yeah, I'm wrapped up like a baby, man. What's up? I'm Omar Gonzalez. I'm from Queens. I want to do the 21-day cleanse because I want to continue to lead a healthier life and eat better and just change my overall being. Yeah.
Nice.
Hi everybody, my name is Karina. I'm from Jackson Heights, and I had too much coquito over the break, and I need to get back on track, or else I'm not gonna pass my Phoenix test. So yeah.
And then Kathy's back there. She'll be back. She's on the phone, but she's from Queens, and I don't know why she wants to do it like Oh, there she goes.
Yeah, I heard my name. Hi.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm Kathy.
Where you from?
Oh, I'm okay. Wait, can you see me? Yeah. I'm Kathy. I'm from Queens. Why do I want to do a cleanse? I want to do the cleanse because I'm trying to do pull-ups, but my fat percentage is too high, so I want to do the fat percentage. But also, the cleanse just helps me like think better. It helps me with my sleep. It gives me more energy. And then it just puts me on the right track to working out and to eating healthier for the rest of the year.
Nice, awesome. All right, so then we got Jenny. Jenny, can you unmute and tell us why you are doing the cleanse and where you're from?
She can't hear you. Say on mute.
I think her mic is messed up. Well, in any case, Jenny, who is my partner, is from the Lower East Side, but now resides in East Harlem, El Barrio. We just moved over here a week ago, so we're excited to be back. This is the neighborhood I grew up in, so I pulled her over here. I pulled to the dark side. She's from the Lower East Side. But Jenny, Jenny is a breastfeeding mom. She's been a mother now for 8 months since the baby was born, but obviously she was pregnant for 10 months. So I know Jenny definitely wants to restart her nutrition, especially as a breastfeeding mom, and provide good nutrition to the little one. So hopefully I did her justice by speaking in her turn. So then we have Juan and Gammy. Hey.
Hi. Okay, I'm Gammy. I'm from Washington Heights, and I want to do the cleanse because I kind of fell off during this holiday season, and this is a good way to get back on track for me. Yeah.
I'm Juan. I'm from Harlem as well. Um, the reason why I'm doing the cleanse is because since I haven't been cleansing, since I haven't been eating as clean as I usually do, I just feel like so cloudy. I can't like focus on stuff as I usually can, and my training isn't as good either. I feel super sore and stuff. So it's like I want to go back to feeling great, like I did a month ago.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So then the next one person I got here is Kelvin. Kelvin, you want to introduce yourself and where you're from and why you're interested in doing the cleanse?
Yeah, what's up, everybody? My name's Kevin.
You got a fan club, all right.
It's good, Kathy. Yeah, I know Kathy and Karina from doing Cap Watch. But yeah, I'm from Harlem, and I want to do the cleanse because I've never done a cleanse before. I just want to see like what it's about and if it can really do anything for me. To be honest, I'm kind of skeptical, so hopefully this one breaks my skepticism.
All right, cool, cool. Good to have you. So I have Jocelyn who just joined. Jocelyn, we're just going around introducing ourselves, who we are, where we're from, and why we're interested in doing the cleanse.
Where's Joss?
I think you're on mute. All right, so we're going to come back to her. So I got Laura, too. Laura, who you are, where you're from, and why you're interested in doing the cleanse.
Hey everyone, I'm interested in doing the cleanse because honestly I really don't know how to eat, and I know my eating habits are definitely not what they're supposed to be, so I figured that this was a great way to start. And luckily enough for me, I have a homegirl, Kathy, who'll be looking out for me to put me onto stuff, so shout out to Kathy.
Nice, cool. Thank you. All right, so then I think is Natalie. The spelling is not usual. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
All right, all right.
My name is Natalie. I'm from Middle Village, Queens, and I'm here because Kathy forced me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm here because my eating habits are really bad, and I know that this is a way to start off my year right. So I'm looking forward to doing the whole 21 days.
Awesome, cool. And then we got Nicole. You unmuted and then muted. Oh, there you go. I think your mic is messed up. I can't hear you. I'll come back to you. Maybe your mic is messed up. So then I got Ruben. Ruben, you there? Maybe Ruben's mic is messed up too. So hopefully we could get y'all later. If not, it's all good. You guys can, of course, go on to the chat and drop some lines there too. If you've never used Google Hangouts, I think this is Google Hangouts, yeah. If you've never used Google Hangouts, there's on the left side of your screen, there's some icons, and one of them is like a blue box with the little like speaking sign. I don't know what they're called. You know, like in comic books when you're speaking. So if you click on that, it'll open up a little chat so that you can engage and ask questions if your audio is messed up or if you just don't feel like speaking, which is fine as well. And also, too, like on the last call, I'd encourage people, if they're not making comments, to stay on mute, just so that there isn't too much background noise coming in, especially those in the studio who look like they're still working out. Again, welcome. My name is Sean Garcia. I'm from East Harlem, born and raised out here, and just moved back up here. I'm the executive director of Revolutionary Fitness and one of the instructors of Revolutionary Fitness. We've been doing these cleanses again for a couple years now, and each time we find that we have more and more success. The community grows of people who are participating in the cleanse, and that, of course, we'll talk about is one of the strengths of the cleanse. It's not something that you're doing on your own. It's something that you're doing with others. It sounds like a lot of y'all doing with Kathy, which is dope too. But it really, the camaraderie, the support that you get from your community, being able to bounce questions off of one another and express challenges and try to overcome challenges together is really one of the most powerful parts of the cleanses that we do. And this time around is the biggest cleanse that we've done as a group. It's a 21-day cleanse, and there's 3 phases to it, which I'm about to break down. We actually created a manual for the cleanse. In the past, we usually had like a 3 to 4 page kind of pamphlet on how to go through the green smoothie cleanses that we've done in the past, but we've actually developed a 20-page plus manual for this go around. And we wanted to get it out today, but we still had some final updates to do, so it will be going out probably on Wednesday or Thursday, because we wanted to make sure we included some recipes in there and shopping lists and all that good stuff. But it's something that we're really excited about, really proud of, and hopefully it'll be a good tool for everyone who's participating. So we don't have the manuals in front of us, but I'm going to do a little quick overview of the contents. I think I can actually, let me see if I can share my screen here and show y'all the table of contents. Let me see. Can folks see my screen? Wait, hold on, not yet. Let's see. Wow, that's crazy looking. Can you see it now?
Matrix.
Yeah?
Hey.
It's crazy. It's like some weird box. But let me see. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the front page, the cover of the manual, so I'll just skim through it really quick. So yeah, I can see the table of contents. So that's the table of contents. So there's 5 chapters in the manual, and there's a couple of appendixes that have some supplemental information. So we're going to go real quick right now. I'm going to do a little summation of each of the chapters, especially chapter 2, which is how to perform the Phoenix Reset, so kind of folks know what they're getting themselves into and how to prepare for it. And then, of course, there's chapters on, you know, how to cater the cleanse to you and your particular needs, especially chapter 4, if you're a pregnant or breastfeeding individual, there's a special modification for you. And then, of course, how to come out of the cleanse. And then we provide some shopping lists, some suggested things that you can purchase that are not necessarily essential but good things to have. There's a FAQ in there, and then we'll have all the recipes in there as well. So let me get back. So that's just a little preview. Let me see if I can take this off now. Am I back now? All right, I think I am. All right, so so just a quick overview. You can pull out a pen and a paper if you need to. But just to start, you know, obviously we went around and people talked about why they were interested in doing a cleanse. It's the new year. A lot of people are very much trying to, you know, restart things on the health and fitness front, trying to get their bodies right. It could be for, you know, aesthetic reasons. You just want to look better. You want to lose some weight. You want to put on some muscle. But it could be deeper than that. It could be, you know, you want to switch up your health. You want to switch up your nutrition altogether. And there could be varying motivations. But especially around this time of year, the biggest concern is that many people embark on these changes. They try to make these, you know, they join the gym, they start a cleanse, but either they can't sustain it or they're doing it blindly without support and guidance. So they end up doing potential harm to themselves, or they start running into hurdles and not knowing how to deal with them, and just falling, you know, off the wagon, you know, not going to the gym anymore, falling off the cleanse or whatever they were doing. And especially for us as an organization who really tries to provide education to our community and support to our community, we don't want folks to go through that. You know, this kind of every year trying to start it up afresh, and you know, every year's day one. You know, we want to be able to give you the support system and the education so that you can actually be successful at whatever you're trying to embark on, and then sustain it, have some longevity in it. So a cleanse, for those, you know, who might not know yet, a cleanse, there's all different types of cleanses out there. You know, everyone hears about this and that celebrity doing a cleanse. They hear about, you know, you walk into a gym, people are like, oh, I'm on a cleanse. And it's a very much a catch term right now. It's kind of something that's very trendy. You hear people saying that they're on a juice cleanse, or they're, you know, doing, you know, some detox or something like that. And that's great that there's more and more awareness about cleansing, and there's more and more interest in cleansing. But at the same time, that's potential danger, because then a lot of folks who are trying to profit off of us can come in and they can provide some pseudoscience and some false claims, or really feed on motivations that aren't necessarily good, and take advantage of us and either put us again in a harmful situation or not giving us the results that we're really looking for. So for us, you know, we try to strip all that pseudoscience. We try to get rid of it, and really provide some knowledge and some guidance so that people can be empowered, not only again to be successful at this particular cleanse, but to maintain it going forward. So a cleanse can be, like I said, for aesthetic reasons, or you know, just to kind of recover from the weeks prior, like some people were expressing. But really, at the end of the day, a cleanse is like a reset button on your computer or your, you know, your PlayStation, whatever you're into. It's like pressing that restart button and starting from a fresher point. It's not necessarily ridding you of all the toxins, or, you know, or transforming you overnight, but it's providing you with that little reset so that you can get going on a better foot. And really, the prime motivation for a cleanse should be to increase one's health, not so much, you know, to lose weight, or, you know, to get to a certain weight range. That's like the biggest one. People are like looking for quick fixes and looking for ways to kind of like, you know, lose that 30-60 pounds as quick as possible. And that's really dangerous. That's not what we're promoting here. And I think it's important that we start the conversation with that, because you will lose weight when you're on the cleanse if you want to. You're definitely going to lose body fat. You're definitely going to lose some unwanted weight if you want to. You also can put on some muscle if that's your desire as well, which we'll talk about. But that shouldn't be the main motivation, because if it is, then when you do run into those hurdles and those obstacles, which are going to be there, you're not going to have really deep-seated motivation to overcome those obstacles. It's going to be a very artificial kind of motivation. And also, too, it kind of feeds into this kind of image of, like, you know, we have to be skinnier, we have to, you know, look like a certain model or image. And that, of course, is something that is very false and that we battle every day here at Revolutionary Fitness. You can be any shape, size. It doesn't matter, as long as you are doing healthy things for your body and you're feeling good with the stuff that you're bringing into your body. So a cleanse for us is, you'll get all those benefits. You'll get the weight loss. You'll get the restoration of your gut. You'll get the you know, good shining skin. You'll get all those things. But really, at the end of the day, we're doing a cleanse so we can press that reset button, that restart button, to get off for a stronger foot, to go forward past the 21 days and to enter in 2016, 2017, and beyond in a healthier place. So that's really should, you know, for us, is the prime motivation. So, and of course, oh, as I'm going along, I forgot to mention, go ahead and put any questions you may have or comments you may have in the chat. If you don't want to like interrupt me, you can interrupt me if you want, but if you just want to like chime in or ask something, feel free to do so. So quickly, and talk about, you know, oh wait, before I do that, Nicole sent a comment saying, if you might have not read it, Nicole, she said, I'm from Washington Heights. This is my first cleanse. I'm trying to get back on track after the holidays, explore some new healthy eating habits. and set a good tone for the year. So that sounds great, Nicole. Thank you. So then let's get into the nuts and bolts of how this particular cleanse works. So it's a 21-day cleanse, and I know a lot of people are probably like, especially if you've never done a cleanse, that sounds very daunting, and it can be very challenging, and it's definitely the longest cleanse that we've done as a group, but we've designed it in such a way, which I'll go over in a second, that it really builds on itself, and the 21 days aren't as tough as, actually, I would say, you know, sometimes we did those 10 or 14-day green smoothie cleanses. Those, in my opinion, are tougher than the 21-day cleanse that we designed. Tougher in terms of like the mental obstacles, and I'll explain a little bit about that. So the 21-day cleanse is broken into 3 phases. So the first phase is the preparation or the elimination of poor foods. So those first 3 days. So on Monday, on the 10th, will be day 1, and then 11th, day 2, and then day 3, and that's the first phase. So you're going to get the packet that breaks down everything, but I just want to go over it. On day 1, the focus is to eat early, to consume no heavy foods after sundown, and to drink lots of liquids and soups, and to eliminate altogether refined sugars, added sweeteners, even if they're like natural added sweeteners like stevia and all that stuff. You want to cut that out as well. Agave, cut that out as well. And the big one on day 1, cut out coffee. So if you're a big coffee drinker, you might want to start waning down on your coffee this week. So I've been known to consume like 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day, and I know it's a serious addiction and a weakness in my nutrition. So whenever I enter in a cleanse, I make sure I start cutting down to 2 cups a day, 1 cup a day, try to go 1 day without it, and then have it the next day until I enter into the cleanse where I have to eliminate it altogether. And the reason that coffee can be very challenging is because coffee exhausts our adrenal glands. And if you don't know much about the adrenal glands are those glands that help regulate the body's stress levels. It helps regulate our energy levels. So you get this artificial stimulant of coffee, which isn't necessarily bad if you're taking it in small doses, but if you're taking in large doses, you get this artificial stimulant that spikes up your adrenaline, and this over exhaustion of our adrenal glands leads to adrenal fatigue. So you see a lot of people who, you know, they basically need coffee to get through the day because their adrenals are so exhausted, or, you know, they get to the end of the day and they're really crashing, or they need some other stimulant like soda or Red Bull or some other form of caffeine. So that can be very harmful for your system, and you want to give yourself a break. So in the cleanse, there's actually, you know, no coffee, no coffee coming in, but you can get caffeine through herbal teas, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But that's usually a big one for folks. Now, in day 2, we start cutting out all animal protein. So you start cutting out all your meats, your fish, if you consume that stuff, and you also start cutting out your dairy products. So day 2, no meat, no dairy products. So dairy products are your milk and your cheese and all that stuff. You want to eliminate it altogether on day 2. Also, too, if you're someone who intakes any kind of like replacement meats like soy, whey, seitan, all that kind of stuff, you want to start eliminating that as well. So you cut that out on day 2 as well. So this one could be a big one if you're a big consumer of meat. If it's something that's a staple in your diet, it might be like emotionally, it might be a little bit of a challenge. You know, trying to figure out how to put stuff on your meal, your plate, how to have a full meal without meat if you're eating it regularly. Also, too, a lot of people who are interested in building muscle mass equate, you know, the meat products to protein. And so they think, oh, I'm not going to get enough protein to either maintain my muscle or build muscle. And that's not true, which we'll talk about later, because there's protein in everything that has life force. You know, there's a lot of plant-based protein out there. which we'll talk about in a little bit. But that can be an emotional concern, I think, for a lot of people, a big challenge. Juan asked, in terms of sweeteners, he asked about what about honey. So honey is raw honey. If you're getting honey raw, then that is allowed during the 21-day cleanse. If you don't, we'll talk a little bit more later, I guess, about honey and how to find good sources of honey. But honey is very low on the glycemic index, and thus is not seen as an artificial sweetener. And then Jocelyn asks if Phil is being recorded. It is being recorded, and sorry that you have to leave, but we'll definitely have it online so you can view it later. So have a good night, Jocelyn. So after day 2, then we enter into day 3 of preparation. And so on day 3, now we're eliminating all cooked foods. We're eliminating all grains, so that's your rice, your millet, your couscous, all that stuff done on day 3. You're getting rid of all breads and your pasta. You're getting rid of all your beans, your legumes. You're getting rid of your wheat if you're bringing it in some other way, and you're also taking out oil. But later in the cleanse, we bring back oil, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But on day 3, you're just basically consuming salads, salads and fruits, all raw, nothing cooked, keeping it, 100% light. No, of course, at this point, you don't have any dairy or meat or anything like that. You can also, too, you can start on day 1, but day 3, you definitely should start bringing in some smoothies, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, but start introducing that into your body on day 3. So that's the first phase. So the first phase, again, is preparation. It's getting your body ready for what's about to happen over the 21 days, right? There's a lot of physical things that are going to happen. You'll get headaches potentially if you're a big caffeine drinker. Like for me, for instance, on day 2, usually on the night of day 2, I get like piercing migraines because it's my body battling the caffeine addiction. And I kind of just have to know on day 2, I got to make sure I'm in a place that's quiet and relaxed and I'm not around a lot of noise because I know I'm going to be real moody and agitated. And that's just through experience. I know that I have to do that. It might be different for others. I know others, sometimes they get those headaches on day 1, some people on day 3, but for me it happens on day 2. It's just something to be mindful of. So, I mean, it's important to note that the 21 days, even though it's a cleanse and you're trying to do good things to your body, because you've been doing potentially harmful things and bad things to your body for the weeks and months prior, years maybe, the cleanse itself is not potentially an easy experience. It could be very tough. It could be very tough on you physically, and it could definitely be tough on you mentally. But that's part of the process, and that's part of you getting to understand your relationship to food and where you need to bring it, because a lot of us might not necessarily know the state of the food that we're consuming. We might not know it's that bad. We might think, oh, okay, I eat this every once in a while, and I drink this every once in a while, but overall I eat pretty good. You might find during the cleanse that that's the furthest from the truth. So there's some realizations that go on there. There's some introspection that goes on there, and sometimes it has to happen through negative experience. But again, that's why we have the support systems, and that's why we have the forums, so that you can engage and build with people on how to get through those tough times. So after those first 3 days, the next phase, so phase 2, is 4 days of green smoothie juicing and just getting liquids into your body. So we've done these 3 days, 5 days, sometimes longer. This time we're just doing a 4 day. So it's 4 days of purely liquids. So you can get them in the form of smoothies, or you get them in the form of juices. I'll explain the difference. So a smoothie is something where you take your ingredients, you take your veggies and your fruits, and you throw them into a blender, and you keep all that pulp. That's a smoothie. You haven't gotten rid of all that fiber. So smoothies are usually the easiest thing for people to consume because it still has a little bit of texture, but at the same time, it's more accessible. A lot of people don't have juicers, blenders can be much more affordable to gain access to. So a lot of people opt for the smoothies. I usually do a lot of smoothies because I don't have a juicer, and they're great. The only drawback is that smoothies, because they still retain that pulp, they still have a lot of fiber, which is still making your body work. Part of the juicing or the smoothie portion of this cleanse is to give your internal organs a rest. So we're constantly working them. We're constantly digesting stuff, dealing with stuff inside our stomach, inside our small intestines, our large intestines, working it through the bowels. We're constantly working, and we don't even know it. And it's very exhausting for our body, and in fact, it takes away that energy that we use on digestion and all this stuff, takes away from the energy we could be using on other things. The energy we can be using on, you know, studying, working, hanging out with friends, making love, working out, whatever it is, that energy is being diverted a lot of the times to digestion. So these 4 days allows you to get that break so that you can really, utilize the energy in different places. It's a really interesting experience if you've never done a smoothie or a juicing cleanse, the transformation that your body goes through. So that phase is really important. Now, we call for green smoothies and juices, and that's really, really important when it comes to the juices, because what happens is that a lot of us, when we start making smoothies and juices, end up opting for a lot of fruits. We want to get it sweet. We want to, we're still craving that sugar, because most of us, I would say 95, maybe 100% of us are sugar addicts, and we don't realize it. We consume sugar at tremendous levels. Not only like candy, but breads and pasta and all this stuff is high levels of sugar, very high in the glycemic index. So our body starts craving it like crazy during this cleanse. So a lot of us have the tendency to get very sugary smoothies and juices. And this is dangerous because, that's just basically spiking up your sugar levels, and that can then cause, serious fatigue in your body. It is going to cause a lot of, you're not going to get the nutrition that you need. So we call for people to consume green smoothies and juices, because that ensures that there's more vegetation, more green stuff in the smoothie. So if you take a bunch of ingredients, we usually recommend 3 to 5 ingredients. It's in the manual, but no more than 5, because then it just looking all nasty. But 3 to 5 ingredients, you just put in whatever you want to put in, right? And if you blend it and it turns out purple, then you need to add in some more spinach or kale or a cucumber or whatever it is that's going to turn it green. So every time you make this juice over those 4 days, it has to be green, no exceptions. And we say this every single time, and then we got on the Facebook page, and someone's sharing like this red juice, and it's like, it's so good, all these beets. I'm like, no, you're messing it up. So green, always green for these 4 days. That's the one cardinal rule. And especially with juices, because again, juices in a juicer extract all the fiber. And when you take all that fiber away, then that sugar is just attacking your system. When you have the fiber intact with food, then the sugar is not as aggressive on your system. But the minute you take all that fiber away, all that pulp, then that glycemic intake is even higher. So if you make a juice that has a lot of fruits in it, you're gonna be bouncing off the walls and you're gonna crash. And it's not gonna be good, because your body is not gonna get what it needs. It needs nutrition. So in terms of limits, people always ask, how many smoothies can I consume? You can consume as many smoothies and juices as you want during those 4 days. There's no limit. You can, consume 20 a day if you got the time and the energy to do it. You can consume 1 a day if you're not really feeling it. Your body just is enjoying the rest. Maybe it doesn't want to consume it. You really have to pay attention to your energy levels, and, obviously, you're going to get like sensations of hunger pains. Usually the hunger pains are a sign of dehydration. So you want to drink water, you want to drink your teas, all that good stuff. But, really gauge, it's all in the manual, but you want to gauge, how many you need, basically. Don't just start consuming because you're like, oh, I ate 5 meals a day, so I got to consume, 5 smoothies a day. That's not how it works, really. And you'll learn that as you go along. So we got some questions here. So Kelvin asks, are we going to get access to meal examples in the manual? So there will be recipes in the manual. There's also a shopping list, a list of recommended products that you should buy. You know, there's some fruits and not all fruits and vegetables are created equal. So some of them are better quality. Some of them are easier to get access to. Some of them, you know, you really should only buy them organic, and that could be really pricey. So it's something to weigh out. But all that stuff will be in the manual for sure. And Juan said, yes, we are. Oh, sorry, Juan. So yeah, so those are those 4 days. So we have the 3 days of preparation. We have the 4 days of the green smoothie cleanse. And of course, ask any more questions if you need to. But after that, after the 4 days of green smoothies and juices, we move into 14 days of raw food. And it seems, again, daunting because you're like, oh my God, you know, maybe you don't even know what raw food is. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. But also, 14 days can seem like a long time if you're used to consuming a lot of that cooked food, and especially if consuming a lot of meats. So there's also certain restrictions on when we recommend you should be eating, when you shouldn't be eating, and there's other things that we're asking you to intake over those 14 days to help with digestion and to help with evacuation, going to the bathroom. But during those 14 days, we're recommending that people go 14 days of raw food. So raw food is anything that is uncooked. You know, we're not including, of course, meats in here. We're not, you know, there's some raw food diets that, you know, they consume like raw meat and raw eggs and all that stuff. So of course we've eliminated. Nicole's making faces. I know it's nasty. We've eliminated at this point already all the meats and the dairy products and all that stuff. So we're just talking about raw vegetables, raw fruits, raw nuts, all that good stuff. Now, also too, you know, you can actually steam, and this is in the manual, you can steam some of your vegetables. And if you keep it under 107 degrees, some people have access to dehydrators, which is also in the manual. It talks about it. If you have a dehydrator or if you want to steam your foods on a pot, as long as not exceeding 107 degrees. Now, a lot of people go to 115, but you don't have to get crazy about this. Just you can tell if your vegetables are getting soggy and they start looking cooked, you've gone too far. But if you want to do a light steaming to get some heat and some moist texture, like on broccoli or cauliflower, whatever you want to do, that is definitely welcomed on this cleanse. But you want to err on the side of consuming, you know, as raw as possible for the 14 days. And Kelvin, no sushi. No sushi. I love sushi too. But I haven't eaten fish since my last cleanse, so I'm off the fish. I've been a vegetarian since I was 14, and I started eating fish again in 2000. And I was eating fish for a couple years, and then finally I made the recommitment, last green smoothie cleanse, to not consume any more fish. That was part of my experience. So Jenny says, what about soups for nursing moms? So in a little bit I'm going to talk about, well, I guess I could talk about it here. Now on the first phase, when we're doing the preparation, there's no modifications. So we're recommending everyone do the preparation days all the same. If you are a heavy coffee drinker and you consume like 5 a day, if you need one last cup of coffee on day 3, just because, you know, you can't get through the day, go ahead and go for it. Try to keep it as a small cup, but by day 2 you should be done. But other than that, there's really no modifications on the preparation days, even for pregnant or lactating individuals. Now, when you enter into the 4 days of green smoothies and juices, there's different tiers. There's 4 different tiers. So the first tier are people who are just going all smoothies and juices. So that's the one that, you know, we recommend if you can do it for the 4 days. But if it's too tough, there's some other tiers. Option 2 is that you're consuming those juices and the smoothies, but you also consume some raw salads. So if during those 4 days you just feel like you need some texture and you're going to bounce off the walls if you don't chew on something, you can bring in a nice raw salad. But again, remember, no artificial stuff in there. So no croutons, no sesame seed sticks, which is my favorite. No salad dressing that has all this artificial stuff. You know, keep it raw, clean, and unprocessed as much as possible for that option 2. And then there's option 3, where you can consume the smoothies, the juices. You can also bring in the salads, but now also you can bring in some meat, some nuts and some seeds. So that's something that we didn't really talk about, but in these smoothies and juices, we are calling for no nut milk, so no almond milk, no cashew milk, none of that stuff in option 1. But if you do this third tier during those 4 days, you can bring in some nuts and some seeds. You could bring in some nut milk. You could bring in some, you know, almond butter, peanut butter, all that stuff. Peanut butter obviously being not as good as the others, but that's when you can bring it in. And then option 4 is for the pregnant or lactating individual. So if you are pregnant, if you're going through some pre- or postnatal phase, or if you're breastfeeding, we recommend that you, in addition to the smoothies, the juices, the nuts, the salads, in addition to all that, that you also consume hot soups. So you can cook your soups in this for this tier. And this is important because, especially for pregnant women who want to keep a lot of protection for the infant inside them, they want to keep their gut and belly nice and warm, especially during these cold months. And also, too, you know, you want to make sure that all the enzymes are there that you need. Sometimes when we cleanse, we get a limited amount of enzymes, and we kind of, you know, want to make sure that especially pregnant women and lactating women are not sacrificing that. And if you are pregnant or if you're breastfeeding, you know, you really, during these 4 days, the biggest thing is to listen to your body. If you're, you know, I know Ruben and his wife are going through it. If you're feeling low on energy and you're, you know, breastfeeding your child, you know, eat a salad, eat some nuts, you know, consume a soup, you know, do what you have to do. Don't sacrifice the needs of your baby and your infant just because you're cleansing. It'll be all right. I think, you know, sometimes we make this joke how when we're cleansing, like eating an almond feels like you're cheating. If that's cheating, then that's a good thing. You know, if that's where you're at, you're in a good place in the world. So don't stress it too much. So I got some questions on the side. So Camilo asks, can we eat sweet potatoes or yuca during the cleanse? He said that was asked by Kathy, though. So your sweet potato and your yuca, I mean, if you can consume those root vegetables uncooked, I mean, that's pretty tough to do. But if you can do it, if light steaming works for you, if you can cut it down into little cubes and do some light steaming and then make it into a mash, that's definitely something you can do. But putting it in an oven or letting it boil for a long period of time is we would consider cooking it. So you would have to get creative with it. Juan said you can make some yuca smoothies, so that's definitely something to try. He's mad Dominican, obviously. So Nicole said for the raw vegetables and salads, what kind of dressings can we use? So we usually recommend, at this point, we're still not bringing in oils. During the 14 days, you can start bringing in oils. But at this point, we recommend like salt and pepper, lemon juice. You know, just think about, you know, getting some natural oils in there too. So foods that already have oil. So getting in your aguacate is going to be really important for your salad because it has some natural oils in it. So you definitely want to bring it in that way. And Jenny made the recommendation for liquid aminos if you want to bring in some liquid aminos. And of course, I'm sure Jenny will share that on the Facebook page so you know how to get access to it. So after moving along, after the 4 days, and continuing to ask questions if you need it. After the 4 days, we enter in the 14 days of raw foods. So during these 14 days, there's some parameters that we want people to work in. So we want people to try as best as possible during the 14 days to not consume any foods of any form before 11 o'clock every day. And so it's like a little fasting every day. And again, if you're pregnant or breastfeeding individual, this is different. But for most of us, the recommendation is to try not to consume anything before 11. And so what you can bring in though is you can bring in herbal teas, you can bring in apple cider vinegar shots or apple cider vinegar water mixing, which we're going to talk about in the manual. And what was the other? Oh, and obviously water. You can bring in water, put a little lemon in your water, all that kind of stuff. But we want to do fasting before 11 o'clock. And it's just, again, keeping our body light, trying to give our body as much rest as possible. There's a lot of things chemically going on in the body that around 11 it starts making sense to start consuming some more foods. I won't get into the science of that, but it has a lot to do with our growth hormones. But before 11, we're recommending that people do not consume any foods. Then after 11, you again consume as much raw foods as you want. So as many salads as you want, as many dehydrated foods as you want. All that stuff you can consume as much as you want, no limitations. Obviously, you want to listen to your body. What you're going to find, though, and this is true for the green smoothie portion, is that your body is getting so nourished by all this food that your appetite is very much is lower. You're not going to be wanting to consume as much. What happens is that we consume so many foods that are low in nutritional value that we have to consume a lot of calories. So they're low nutritional value, so we have to consume a lot of calories in order to feel satisfied. And really, we never ever get satisfied with those low nutrition foods. We just get stuffed to the point that we're sick and we can't consume anymore. And then that works through our body, and then we have to do it again in a couple hours. But when you're eating all this good food, and this is why we call it nutritional cleansing, your body basically is getting all the nutrients it needs, all the vitamins and minerals it needs. So it's going to reduce your appetite naturally. So that's why we say there's no limit, because I would challenge anyone who's consuming more food when they start consuming a raw food diet. It's really, really hard to do. It's hard to consume more calories. And then we also call for people to stop eating. So we ask them to start eating at 11 and then stop eating these foods at around 8 or 9 o'clock at night. This is something obviously that's case by case, because say you work to 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night and you get home and you need to eat something, then of course it's going to be a little bit different for you. And in the manual we talk about how you can work around these things. But we want to ideally have most people having their last physical meal at 8 or 9 o'clock. And again, after that, going back to the teas, going back to the lemon water, the apple cider vinegar shots or drinks, all that can happen after that time. So the other thing that we promote during the 14 days is for every day people to consume something that's called electrolyte lemonade. So it's a recipe that's going to be in the manual, but basically the electrolyte lemonade is a lemon with other fruits in it and a lot of good raw honey, or you can do other options. Other options can be maple syrup if you don't consume honey, and then oil. So you're actually putting a lot of olive oil or coconut oil into your lemonade, and that oil at this point, now you can start consuming oils again in the 14 days, actually helps with digestion and evacuation. So that's the electrolyte lemonade that we promote that you consume every single day. So there was a comment. Omar said, can we consume, so Camilo said, can we have fermented drinks or add them to our drinks? So the fermented drinks like kombucha and all that stuff, you can have during the smoothie portion, you can have them, but they have to be mixed into a green smoothie. So I don't know how that's going to taste, if you like it that way. But during the 14 days, during the raw food phase, kombucha is definitely something that is great to get into your body. All fermented foods that are plant-based in their source are great to get into your body during the cleanse, especially because they have all that good bacteria and enzymes, which is great for your gut health. So then Omar said, can we consume flaxseed oil? You can start consuming the flaxseed oil during the 14 days. But during the 4 days of smoothies and juices, we don't consume any oils at that point. Karina said, is it true that consuming too much apple cider vinegar is bad for women's reproductive system? That's the first time I've ever heard that, Karina, so I will definitely look it up and get back to you.
Um, yeah, so Karina had brought that up before. So the reason why that's like more of a myth, because what it does, it helps balance out your cycle. So what the myth is that if you're pregnant, you can use that to get a miscarriage. But what it does is instead of messing with your reproductive system, it kind of balances you out because the change of acidity really helps for good hormones to start rebuilding.
Cool, cool. Thanks for the insight, Juan. So yeah, so we'll definitely look it up. I mean, I think it's interesting because there is some things, especially for pregnant women, there are some things that are natural laxatives that we wouldn't promote with women who are pregnant. And so I'd be interested to learn more about the apple cider vinegar stuff. So I'll let you know. But as far as I know, like Juan said, I think it's all good. Dottie asks, coconut oil is good during the 14 days. Jenny said coconut liquid aminos is also a great soy-free alternative. Thank you, Jenny. And Camilo said, got you, hear it from my mama. Wanted to confirm. I don't know what you mean, but it's all good, brother. So also, in addition to the electrolyte lemonade that we're promoting, we also are promoting folks to consume, if they can, castor oil. And that could be very challenging for people. Castor oil is a natural oil that has some great benefits for your gut and helps with your digestion and evacuation. It doesn't have to be, you know, I think the recommended dosage in the manual is like 2 tablespoons a day. Juan, is that right? I might be wrong. In any case,
can you repeat that?
Much. What was that?
Can you repeat that?
What's the recommendation on the castor oil?
Oh yeah, if you're gonna consume it,
yeah.
If you're gonna consume it, you want to do like once a day, and it has to be like around the same time. So if you're doing it in the morning, you want to wait about 24 hours to do it again the next morning. But you want to make sure not to take more than like a tablespoon if it's the first time of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, and even if it feels like it's too hard to even consume a tablespoon, you can do a smaller dosage. You also can do castor packs, which is in the manual, which is just basically applying a wool cloth with castor oil soaked in it and applying it to your abdomen while you sleep or during the day, and that helps promote some evacuation. All these things are just to help break down the garbage that's in your body, the apple cider vinegar, the oils, all this stuff to break down the garbage, because our intestines is basically caked with all this bad stuff that is clogging the system, is not letting us digest things properly, is not letting us absorb the nutrients from the foods that we're consuming, and we just kind of want to strip those walls of our intestines, restore the health of our gut, so that when we do consume things, we're getting the most out of it. And Omar asks about what about hemp oil? All oils from plant sources are great during the 14 days. So if there's any more questions about that, about the 3 phases, let's see if I get any more questions.
Sean.
Yes.
So they asked about like coconut oil, the solid or the liquid. You want to get coconut oil that is just regular coconut oil. Make sure it's like organic, especially if you're consuming it. But liquid coconut oil, if it says liquid coconut oil on it, it's been processed, so it won't solidify. So it's been cooked to a certain extent. So you want to stay away from that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and definitely also too with your other oils, you want to see if they're cold pressed, if they're first cold pressed. All these kind of things are things that are in the manual that we want to promote. You know, you want to get it in its most natural state because a lot of these things that we might think are good for us have been highly processed, and we're trying to eliminate all that processed food. You know, anything that's gone through any kind of process, we don't want to have during the 14 days. So if it's something that can sit on the shelf for a long period of time, it probably is not good for you. If it's something that when it goes in your body, it feels heavy. It feels like it's hard to get through your system. It probably isn't good for you. So all this stuff that you're consuming through the 14 days should be really light in your stomach. It should go through your body really quickly. You should be using the bathroom really regularly in a good way, and feeling really light and great and all that good stuff. So I wanted to also talk about some extra activities that we promote during the cleanse. So obviously, when you're doing a nutritional cleanse, this is a great time to start doing some other healing things to your body. So it could be a great time to start working out if you haven't been working out regularly. If you have been working out, it might be a good time to start bringing in some yoga. We promote, people trying to do yoga in the morning and the night if they have the ability to. We have a bunch of free videos and everything on our site, so you can find some basic kind of ways to approach yoga. We promote people, obviously, drinking a lot of herbal teas. Get creative with the teas. Go into the store, find the teas, again, that are unprocessed and uncooked. So anything is like a black tea, all that stuff is processed. It's been cooked. So you want to find like raw teas, you want to find herbal teas, and get creative and find ones that are going to do good things for your body, different things for your body, increase your stamina, help with digestion, help with your menstrual cycle, whatever it is. We also promote that people do journal writing if they can. That can come in the form of like physically writing in a journal, which is really cool, but it also can be just like posting on the Facebook page. There's going to be a private group page. You can post on there your experiences, your reflections, all that kind of stuff. But it's good to just have that daily introspection as you're going through this cleanse, so you actually appreciate and understand the things that you're going to and find out maybe what others are going through and build from there. We also promote that people during the cleanse, this is a big one, try to turn off as much electronics after sunset. And already we're breaking that rule because it's after sunset right now and we're on this webinar. But during the cleanse, you want to try to your best ability. It's hard, especially if you work on your computer or on your phone or whatever, and you have to just be there for the livelihood of it. But as much as you can, we want to try to eliminate electronics after sunset, allowing your body to really, get connected with the rise and the fall of the sun, and also just giving yourself a break. A lot of times, we all have been hearing this. We're all overly stimulated by our phones and by our computers, and even when we go to sleep, like if you go to sleep with the TV on, I know a lot of people like that because they're like, oh, it helps me go to sleep. But even that overstimulation doesn't allow you to go into true sleep and real restful sleep. And it can be tough at first, especially if you're dealing with insomnia and you're trying to get your mind off your thoughts. It can be a real battle. So definitely, if you run into those issues during the cleanse, share them and we can build about them. But try your best to cut off electronics after sunset. Try to pick up a book. They still exist. They're still out there. Pick up a book. Maybe put on a candle if you got one. Try to go for a candle that doesn't have too much chemicals in it, and just chill out, relax, be with yourself or be with your loved ones. Make love to your partner, whatever it is. After sunset, try to cut off those electronics. And then also too, we call for, if you can, daily bathing in Epsom salt. And so Epsom salt is a good way to get in your magnesium. Magnesium is something that we're highly deficient in our current society, especially in working class and poor neighborhoods here in New York City. We get little to no magnesium intake through our nutrition and through other sources. So getting that magnesium in through the Epsom salt is really vital to muscle regeneration, recovery, restoring your body overall, getting energy for the next day. And also, if you're battling insomnia or having trouble sleeping, getting an Epsom salt bath with some essential oils can really help you go to sleep and all that good stuff. So Jenny said, with the castor pack, which part of the stomach do we place it on? She said, I know there were 4 quadrants. So there's 2 different strategies when you're cleansing. You can do the 4 quadrants are the upper left part of your stomach nearest to your belly button, then your lower left part of your stomach, then your lower right, and then your upper right. So it's like this. I can't really show it in the video, but it's this 4-step practice. But the other thing that you could do to just simplify it is just take a strip of that caster pack, which again is in the manual. So if you don't know what a caster pack, don't feel like you're lost here. But you put it on the right side of your stomach, which is going to help, promote cleansing of your gallbladder and all that good stuff. So Nicole said, where's the best places to go food shopping? And this is a tough one because a lot of us live in those food deserts. And when you get the shopping list and the recommendations on foods to consume, you can walk into your local supermarket, bodega, and see what you can find there. But you might have to, unfortunately, travel outside of your neighborhood to get access to these foods. And this is a deeper issue, obviously, right? Food justice, food deserts is something that we need to have some systematic change about. We need to, create some radical actions, some protests, some rallies, direct actions, trying to get more healthy alternatives in our neighborhoods. But until, we can get some more structural change, we might have to travel outside of our neighborhoods. So you might have to go to a Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or some health market in a more affluent neighborhood and take that train ride. Hopefully not. Hopefully you have some access in your neighborhood and you don't have to travel. The unfortunate thing is that Dottie said Garden Gourmet. She's up in the Van Cortlandt area. The thing is that a lot of the produce too in the hood, if you go into the produce section, it might look good, but usually it's like a day or two away from rotting. And the reason is because what happens if you think about from seed to plate, how long it took that plant to get to you from the farm or wherever it was produced. How long did it take to get to your supermarket? In the hood, it takes much, much longer to get to us. So first, the most affluent communities get access to those foods, and then those products that can't be sold in the affluent communities are then given to the poorer neighborhoods, and the prices are usually higher, especially folks who are, like for instance, me and my partner, we were on WIC for the past couple months with a baby, and like you get like $10 a month. It's crazy. So in any case, you have to, work around this. This is a real issue. It's not something that we can just say, oh, just go to Trader Joe's is not a problem. It could be very challenging for people. Like if you have to work 12, 14-hour days to then travel out your neighborhood can be very challenging. But hopefully people have some more strategies online, or they know of some healthy spots in the neighborhoods that they can post on the Facebook page when we get that going. Camilo said, Omar, he said, I'm out, good stuff. I'll be here tomorrow for yoga and kettlebells. Peace out. All right, Omar, we'll see you later. So we're almost near the end. We got 15 more minutes here. I wanted to talk about, I talked about the suggested stuff that we wanted to do. I want to talk about how to break the cleanse, and I also want to talk about how to interact with one another during the cleanse. So to break the cleanse, after the 21 days, we're going to be having at the Redfit Studio in East Harlem on 116th and Park Avenue. We're going to be having like a Plant Strong Brunch that everyone who's a participant, we welcome you to come through. We're having this webinar. We're seeing each other virtually. Many of y'all might know each other, but it would be great to just have everybody come through on the 31st. I think it falls on a Sunday. Double check that for me, folks. But we're going to have a nice Plant Strong Brunch for everybody. So definitely that's something to come through. That'd be a great way to break. So in terms of breaking your cleanse, just the way we took 3 days to transition into a cleanse, you should take just that amount of time, if not more, to come out of it. So you shouldn't just like, all right, 21 days is over, and let me go back to my old eating habits. That basically just erases all the work that you did during the 21 days. To retain some of that work and some of the lessons that you've learned along the way, we encourage that people start bringing the solids or the cooked foods back into their diet slowly, especially the meats and the dairies and the processed foods. Try to limit them as much as possible and bring them in sparingly. Also, too, if you if you consume a big meat-based diet, maybe you adjust it. Maybe you don't go back to it altogether. if you're consuming meat 7 days a week, once or twice a day, maybe after the cleanse you readjust your approach to your nutrition. Many people, I would say, come into the cleanse trying to lose weight, trying to feel better, all this stuff. But majority of folks, and people probably can attest to this who have done cleanses who are on the call, walk away feeling empowered with a deeper understanding of what food does to their body, why they eat the certain foods that they eat, right? Like for me, I eat a lot of the foods because of entertainment, because I like eating different types of foods and it's fun and all this stuff. And so that's different from what food is supposed to be. Food is supposed to be for nourishment and nutrition and energy. So when I walk out of that cleanse, I usually am like, all right, let me just limit how much entertainment I'm getting. Let me limit how much crazy meals I'm consuming. Let me limit how much alcohol or whatever I'm consuming. So these are lessons you'll get as you go through the cleanse. But when you break, you want to do it in an easing in process. You don't want to just go from 0 to 60 and do a bunch of damage to your body. And so the last point I want to talk about before we open up to some final questions. Oh wait, Nicole said, are there other ways to get the magnesium other than the Epsom salt baths? Nicole, there is. You could get like magnesium oil sprays. They sell them for like $10 in health food markets, and those are really good too because you can spray the oil directly onto sore muscles or places that you're feeling that need it. Because it helps with muscle restoration, especially if you work out a lot. Camilo said shop around because certain stores have certain things cheaper than other stores. I buy certain things at certain store, like coconut oil. I buy at Costco's, and he goes on and on and on. But basically, look for the little hacks. There might be some spots that you can get something cheaper, some spots that they're a little bit more expensive. I would encourage folks to, throughout the cleanse, if they find like a cheap deal in the city, to post it on the Facebook group page, the private group page, so that others can see it. Like, oh, I found this real cheap coconut oil at Costco's for this amount. Go check it out. The sales until this date. That kind of stuff is really important for folks to share with one another. So the last thing is that we want people to really, really understand the value of community during this cleanse. I mean, community in general, right? We, as individuals, we're taught, honestly, to be individuals. And I want to. It's not, individualism is different from individuality, right? You can be your own individual. You can be a creative spirit. You can have your own form of expression. You can like solitude. You can like, being with yourself. All that stuff is great. But we are social beings, and there's power in numbers. There's power in the collective. And I think, it's really important through something challenging like this to really tap into that community. These are folks, everyone going through this cleanse right now, all from, primarily working class neighborhoods, people who don't have access to a lot of funds. We're all, poor and working class people. And so we only have one another, so we should definitely utilize it, So we encourage people to meet up with one another if they can, hang out with one another, have meals with one another, set up potlucks in their crib, or, go onto the Facebook page and say, hey, I'm having dinner this Friday. Who wants to come through and have like a smoothie party? All that stuff is very highly encouraged if you can. Also, we want people to engage on social media. I know we said we wanted to limit, the time that you're on the computer after a certain hour, but we also know that social media can be used as a powerful tool if used for correct things. So we will have the private Facebook page set up so that everybody can interact on there. So we encourage you to interact as much as possible, but also to share your experience with people who might not be going through the cleanse. There's people who are going to be watching you, seeing your transformation, hearing about your struggles or your successes, wondering what you're doing, and you should feel empowered, hopefully, to be an agent of change and give them some basic knowledge about what you're going through, invite them to join in on it. It's $10 we asked for just to help with the cost of the manuals and also with the grand prizes, which we're going to talk about a little bit. But really, it's really accessible and it's affordable, so get as many people as you can to participate. And don't be shy. Don't be concerned that, oh, this is probably a stupid question, or there's everyone knows how to make smoothies. If I ask something so basic I'm going to be judged. That's not what it's about. So don't be fearful to express any kind of questions, concerns, comments, challenges, right? I know Kelvin is still a skeptic. I'm looking at him, I'm trying to see his smile. I don't see it. So he might be challenging us along the way. And that's all good, you know. So challenge, you know, question things. If anything I said today you felt like might have been wrong or incorrect, you know, challenge me. Please do so. That's what it's all about. But, you know, going back, I kind of gave a glimpse of it. I talked about it a little bit. But even though this is not a contest or a competition or anything like that, we actually do have a grand prize and a runners-up prize for folks who are the most engaging. So the folks who are participating the most, who are oh, I forgot to mention, we recommend that people journal their food on MyFitnessPal, which is an app that you can download for free. That's going to be in the manual as well. So the people who are posting the most on MyFitnessPal, the people who are engaging the most on Facebook, the people who are recruiting others to participate in the cleanse. Kathy, you got a head start on everybody. But the folks who are doing the most of that, inspiring their community to make these healthy changes, we want to throw a little reward to those folks, to those warriors. So we have, we didn't initially plan this, but we had enough people who signed up for the cleanse that we are actually, for the grand prize, for the person who is the most inspiring, we're going to be giving out a free Vitamix. So I could see a bunch of smiles. People who wanted Vitamixes. Kathy, calm down. So we're giving out a free Vitamix to the person who is the most inspiring and brings people in, get them on board. For the runner-up, we're giving out a 30-day pass to our RevFit studio in East Harlem. So you'll get unlimited classes and access to our space for a full 30 days. So, you know, just little thank yous. It's not, again, it's not a competition, but it's a thank you for, you know, supporting and promoting the work that we're doing. So we got a couple more minutes here. It's 8:54 right now. I just want to see if folks have any questions. You can unmute your mic now, or you can still submit them via chat, but let's ask some questions before we close up for the day. Or comments. It could be comments too.
What's the maximum amount of time that you could do the cleanse for?
Oh, okay, that's a good one. And there's a whole section on it in the manual. We talk about the 21 days. The way that we've structured this cleanse is such that you can actually maintain it for however long that you want. And I'm not going to say any names, but someone put a challenge out to go for 63 days. So to go 3 rounds of it.
Was that what?
63 days. So you can go, because basically it's just a Life Foods diet, which is an extremely healthy diet to practice. So you can maintain it for the rest of your life if you really want to, 365. But the cycling through, you know, all the phases, you might not necessarily need to do that. Like you might not necessarily need to do 21 days and then do 3 more days of preparation, and then, you know, you might just be able to do the 21 days and then maintain the 14-day raw food cleanse. Or you could do like, you know, 21 days and then have like a weekend where you're consuming stuff that you probably shouldn't be consuming and then get back on another 21 days. You could do it like that. I would say the healthiest practice is to, you know, try to carry it on as long as you can after the 21 days without any weird, you know, hiccups in between.
Yo, we out on this 63-day cleanse. I'm trying to start a rogue team. Cleansing.
Somebody's been watching too much Star Wars over here.
Not just Star Wars.
All right, so we know who wants to do the 63 days, so we'll try to hold them accountable to that. Anyone else have any questions or comments? Anyone came into the call kind of skeptical and feeling a little different or not?
Kelvin, we're looking at you.
Nah, I was thinking about Karina too, cause she was like 21 days.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm still a little nervous, but the fact that we can chew in the middle of it, like that there will be chewing involved, it calms me down a little bit more. So I'm down. I'm not, definitely not down for the 63 days though. You guys are crazy. Well, I support you.
I mean, I don't know if it's gonna lead to results, but I'm just glad that we're doing this in community, and like that's really what I'm excited about, to be doing it with people and to see people's progress, and you know.
It's gonna lead to results.
I don't know if my mic's working. Is it working? All right. Well, yeah. When I heard 21 days, I was a little bit like, I thought it was gonna be green smoothies for 21 days. So I'm glad that the green smoothie part is like 4 days and it's not the whole thing. So I think I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling a little better now.
Yeah, I mean, we did a similar cleanse. Me, Juan, Gammy, and Jenny, and Thomas. We did a similar 21-day cleanse a couple weeks back, and I was just like, oh man, this is a world of difference from the green smoothie ones, because like Karina was saying, like not being able to chew, and that stuff gets crazy after a couple days. It just gets really boring. But the 21 days allows for a little bit more creativity and a lot more fun. And definitely too, you know, a couple of us have access to juicers or dehydrators, a couple, you know, like the machines that you can make a little bit more creative foods. So we should definitely schedule some potlucks and some, you know, times hanging out using and playing with those toys as well.
Sounds good.
Another thing, we're really like brand loyal. Like if you ask about a blender, we're probably gonna tell you Vitamix. You know, I'll tell you Blendtec. Um, if we ask about a dehydrator, people are gonna say Excalibur. But those are the really good machines that are gonna last you like a lifetime. But there's cheaper options to like a dehydrator, something that will cost you maybe like 25 to 30 bucks, that are definitely worth investing on, just because like in the future you could make yourself some kale chips, make yourself some like flax crackers and stuff like that. So if you're not at a financial place to be buying like high-end machines, there's other options. Just know that it's not going to be the preparation time. It might take longer, and you might not get, you know, the top of the line thing.
Yeah, and we have, and again in the manual we have recommendations for the different kind of tools that can help you. But again, they're just recommendations; they're not necessary. I mean, honestly, during the 4-day smoothie joint is the only time that you have a necessity of needing a blender. But it doesn't have to even be a high quality blender. It could be some, you know, thing you get at the discount store. And you know, honestly, some people prefer that because it doesn't cut up the smoothie that well, so you get to chew on some avocado and some, you know, some celery and stuff like that. So people enjoy that too. But again, don't get caught up in the, you know, all the fancy technology and all that stuff. Like Juan said, you can get cheaper ones, you can find used ones on Craigslist and all that stuff. But really, it's about just doing what's accessible to you, what's within your means. It's this cleanse is accessible for everybody. Any other questions before we wrap up? Cool, awesome. Well, so I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. I know there was some technical difficulties in the beginning. I'm glad everyone was able to stick with us and we were able to get over that. Again, this video is going to be available for broadcast afterwards for those who registered for the cleanse. There's a lot of people who weren't able to make it tonight. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be sending out an email tomorrow with this video and also an initial shopping list. So definitely look out for that tomorrow. And then on Thursday or Friday, look in your inboxes to receive the full manual, the full booklet, so you can have access to that. But, you know, this might be the last time we speak, you know, face to face before the cleanse. But, you know, again, whatever y'all need, whatever support you need, feel free to hit me up. Feel free to hit anybody up from Revolutionary Fitness. And please engage as much as possible on the Facebook page. I know some people said they didn't have Facebook, so we definitely encourage folks to create like a pseudo name or like a temporary account just for this. Just let me know what the alias is so I can get you in there. And I'll be chiming in on everybody trying to find out their pages and connecting everybody into the group page. So again, thank you again for coming on tonight. Look in your inboxes to see all the information that's going to come out this week. And as always, let's move together, y'all. Thank you.
Sean, did you answer? Oh, never mind.
No. What was that?
I was gonna ask Sean answer Heidi's question.
Oh, Heidi said, will recipes be shared? Yes, recipes will be shared, Heidi. It won't be a full recipe book. We're definitely planning on doing that down the road, but there's going to be a good amount of basic recipes in the manual. Any additional recipes, feel free to ask people, like on the Facebook page. If you see someone make something really good, just get in the habit of saying, what's in there, how'd you make it, and people, share your recipes as best you can. I know sometimes it's hard if you're just pinching and throwing stuff in, but as best you can, try to share your recipes to support one another. And Camilo said, can Juan make a RedFit cookbook? Juan is definitely on task for that. He's one of the folks. All right, y'all. Have a great night. I'll speak to y'all soon.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace.